I didn't really know my grandfather, Fred Yeo, and his mayor role a whole lot. He was actually the mayor of Taradale, which is now part of Napier, for quite a few years. And most of the time he was mayor, I was actually really too young to either really know what was going on around me a whole lot, and or what a mayor was and what their position was. So it was pretty much out of my orbit. I can remember my parents at times muttering a little bit about how he was so engrossed in his civic duties that he often neglected his family, and that they were sometimes a bit grumpy about that. But I suppose that's what happens when you take on those sorts of responsibilities, that sometimes families do tend to have to take a step back, and maybe my grandfather realised that and just got on with his life as a mayor and a councillor, and just hoped that his family would understand in some way. I don't know, but that is one thing I can certainly remember. The evidence that he was mayor, by the time I became aware that he was actually mayor, and that would have been, I suppose, middle childhood, wasn't great. I mean, there was nothing to sort of see. He didn't go around with mayoral chains on, or have processions down streets and things like that. So it wasn't necessarily easy to know as a kid that he was even the mayor of a town. So I guess it was really just second-hand stuff that tripped into my orbit in a minimal sort of way. I began to get to know that, and probably I got to know more about his role there when he retired, and I realised that in fact he had been mayor because he was actually talking about the new mayor coming in, and then a little bit after the new mayor came in fact there was no mayor of Taradale anymore because it became part of Napier. So in some ways, probably a bit of a pity that I didn't know more about what he was doing. Historically, there isn't a lot of record I can find out about his role there. There might be in the Taradale or Napier Museum archives. One thing I do remember is that he was very good to the Maori community of the Waihik area, and helped them quite a lot with food and other things. And I know that there is a wee token that they gave him in terms of a Maori spear type carving that was a bit of a family heritage, really. So he obviously was held in esteem by the Maori in the area, and did a lot of work for them as well, which was, I think, I didn't know about at the time, but I found out about it, and I think it was really, really great. So that, unfortunately, is about all I can really say about my grandfather being mayor. I may find out more, and I may be able to say more in the future, but at the moment it's pretty much I was aware of that, and in some ways probably the more I've been able to do is, rather than necessarily know what he did as mayor or know how he actually went on as a mayor of a small town, is to actually be able to say to people, and as the years have gone on, my grandfather was the mayor of Taradale, and so on. So people become aware that that was the case, and that there was a family, something in the family that we can be proud of, and certainly feel, the family did something to contribute to the community and the world in terms of that small thing, but well, not that small, but important thing. And I guess I've been able to carry that on, and every opportunity I get, I do actually note the historic importance of that, in my view, to people I talk to, either in the family and sometimes outside of the family. So maybe that's been my role in maintaining that little bit of family history and tradition. Maybe it has, yeah.